Hi guys, it's a cold wet Friday right here in the studios and of course across Lagos State. Because it has rained, guess what? I want to sing one song. Kingsley, I can't hear myself now that I want to sing. Rain, rain, go away, come again another day. Little Kerry wants to play. I'm not so little, I'm big. All right, guys, let me officially welcome you to the show. It is the business side of entertainment right here, coming to you live from Insights Radio, your number one finance radio station right here in the city of Lagos. I didn't want to stand up from my bed this morning. Let me gist you guys. Do you know we didn't have light? No light, but it was as if my AC was on because of the rain. So I stayed in my bed, and I remember that there's this guy coming to the studio today, this cool, calm, and collected guy. So I had to get up and show up, and yes, I was here, and I am here, and I'm still here. All right, guys, my name is Kewa, aka Kawizi, and with me in the studio today is a cool, calm, and collected guy. This guy's voice can shake the world, though. I don't know. Okay, so he's an artist, producer, media strategist, and of course, head of promotions for Chocolate City. Help me welcome the one and only Eclipse Nkasi.
I don't even know what to say.
You don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. I took the words out of your mouth. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Did you swim?
Well, no. Not to have anything against swimming in general. But,
Okay.
Just not today.
Just not today. Okay, good to have you in the studio. Thank you for coming out to hang out
You're
with
welcome.
us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so tell us, who is Eclipse? Who is Eclipse?
When you say it like that, these questions get unnecessarily difficult to answer. But yeah, my name is Eclipse Nkasi. I'm a media strategist / project manager for all things media and entertainment.
Okay.
I like to describe myself as a multi-creative.
Okay.
I'm a rapper, singer, music producer, bit of a graphic designer here, there.
Wow.
And a writer also. I write because I'm publishing my first book in a couple of months. So
Whoa.
I'm trying to do more. So, but
You're
yes.
doing a lot of things. That's good. So you're just
I'm just living life.
You're just living life. I like that part. Okay, so tell me, what's it like being head of promotions for Chocolate City? What's that like?
Okay. Although right now a lot of that is changing. There's a lot of restructuring going on. But
Okay.
for the past year, I have been working as the head of promotions for Chocolate City Music, and I think it's been interesting. Interesting in the sense that it's given me an opportunity to do greater things.
Okay.
Work with bigger. How do I put that now? Catalogs also at the same time.
Okay.
Just push myself a bit more. The challenges are different. It's different from working with either like a smaller company or a handful of artists.
Okay.
So the challenges are unique, but at the same time, it gives you, a deeper insight to the industry, and I think it finds a way to just test everything you think you know.
You think you know?
Yeah. So, but it's been a great year.
It's been a great year.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. This guy knows plenty of things. You guys, please drop your questions. This guy knows a lot of things about entertainment, music. So, if you don't drop your questions, what do you gain? Nothing. Okay. Moving on. So what's it like? I don't know everything, so I'll just ask because I'm also blank. Who is it? What's a media strategist? Okay,
media strategist. I mean, it's just like the name sort of implies, it's just someone who helps strategize for all things media. And in practicality, that would just mean, planning, project management, trying to figure out, because contrary to what a lot of people think, the entertainment space it's two-sided. So because it's show business, there's the aspect that is shown to the rest of the world, and which is very different from the business side of things. Okay. So contrary to the things we see, a lot of times for projects, whether it's music, movies, whether it's music in movies, or whatever it is you're trying to create, there's always a need for truly understanding the best way to market it, the best way to produce it, and just ways to also monetize. Okay. Because with the age of the internet, so much has changed. Okay. So a lot of artists are honestly, working hard but not making any money. So you need, somebody to say, hey, this is how we get it done.
Okay, great. So tell me, what are some of the challenges you have faced in your role? Maybe as an artist, you can, I don't know, you do anything, so you can pick one.
I can pick one. Okay.
So you can pick one and
challenges. I think that we're in a part where the world is transitioning from, or has transitioned from, the traditional means of communication or promoting content. So it's not like all of it is obsolete, but there are more options now. So as against just having radio and TV, you have the internet, you have social media, which breaks news faster than anything else. Yeah, you get this. People are consuming, content very differently now. And it's for music, it's changed so rapidly that I think that anybody, not a lot of people know this, but people who are conscious know that the cycle of marketing, or how between production and marketing itself has changed. So, but what I'm trying to say in essence is that because internet penetration in Nigeria is not still great, we're not as internet savvy as a people. There's I think the new stat is saying we're about 200 million people in Nigeria now, and off of 200 million, which is a lot, not that many people are online. Not that many people are also very aware of what they need to be doing. So it's a weird place to be, because in terms of how music is now being distributed, people are selling on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. These platforms are not very accessible to Nigerians. So Apple Music and iTunes is available in Nigeria. Not a lot of Nigerians have internet. Spotify is not even available to Nigeria. Tidal is not. So it's a tricky position to be in, where we have this many people here, but a huge part of the marketplace is not even available to us. So it's one of the challenges that we're dealing with, which means that even for artists that make money on these platforms, a lot of times are either making sales from people who aren't Nigerians, or Nigerians who are not in Nigeria.
Wow. That's deep, man. I'm trying to process this thing.
It's a lot. But not, of course, everybody's hearing me. Don't be afraid. No. People are still making money. It's just that you need to really be creative about how to sell this creative thing you have created.
Yes. I feel you, man. I feel you. Okay, so tell me, how do you market yourself?
How do I market myself? Is it personally? Are we talking music? Are we talking as a brand?
We're talking as a brand, because I want to believe you're a brand.
Of course.
I see you as a brand. So tell me, how do you market yourself? Okay, let's start with your music. How do you market your brand? That's Eclipse Nkasi as who you are. You are plenty things.
Okay, so I think that the first thing will be understanding who I am in terms of how I perceive myself and what the brand is like. So unlike a lot of people, I'm not actively striving for fame. I think I'd had my fair run on being an artist and just trying to be out there, but now I don't care so much about it. So I just truly enjoy the process of creating and bringing ideas to life. I'm always trying something new, so in terms of how I then market my brand, it's just as being the guy who is always creating something that doesn't already exist, trying new stuff. So my brand is the one that people who are willing to, take that extra step associate with. And in terms of marketing, it's just by breaking new ground each time. So now, what I'm now saying in essence is that I have created music. I was a rapper first. Then I became a music producer, but just to try. So I have been able to push myself as an artist and push myself as a producer. I work with a few people, work with brands. I've produced songs for campaigns for, let me not, we're not doing adverts here, so let's not call names, but telcos, cognac brands, but in essence, what I'm saying is that over time, I have then created a brand that is now identified by the fact that it's not just one thing. So it's almost like saying an ameba that doesn't have any one particular shape. So instead of saying we can't recognize it because it doesn't have a shape, now we recognize it because it's the one that doesn't have a shape.
This guy.
So it's that's what has become. Like, for example, last week I got myself a DJ controller, like a turntable. I want to learn how to DJ. So you get, so it's not because, but just I don't know why not? So I thought about it and I decided, you know what? Yeah, let's DJ. So beginning of the year, I started web development. Okay, so I didn't finish it, but I learned HTML and basic CSS, and I ran away. But
I think I see something about you. You're open to learning.
Yeah.
Like you're open to, because I noticed you just got something. Yes, I'm going to say it. So I think that part is really good, because the times are changing, and if you're not ready to add value to yourself, then what are you doing? Wow, that's great. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, what are some of the common mistakes that you think artists make, especially financially, especially when it's finance?
The first mistake artists make is that they believe their own hype. I think that because the show business is set up the way it is, a lot of times it's like you say, fake it till you make it. So we sell people the dream that there's a lot of money, so people throw in money. Then we didn't have money. So we didn't have money in the beginning. So at some point, people or artists start to believe this thing a little too much. So you start to live above your means, and at some point, all of these narratives have gotten so interwoven that we don't know what the truth is anymore. So we have artists who are struggling financially because of so many bad decisions that we're taking because they weren't like facing reality, So like I think some of it also is some people who are to blame are the artists who already are successful. For example, this is a general example, but as somebody who was a rap fan, I was a big fan of G Unit. So if anybody knows 50 Cent and all those people, so when I was young, I used to listen a lot. And from their music, you'd always hear how they signed a record deal and bought their house, did this, did that. So it was misinformation. Okay. So as much as people get money sometimes after they sign a record, that's not really how that works. Really. So these things make artists grow in the industry having a false understanding of how the finances work. Yeah, exactly. So before you know what's happening and the way it's set up, you can, as an artist, very easily be 20 million naira in debt before your brand is able to even make 200K.
Whoa.
So
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So that's there's a lot of reasons, but that's just an example. Yeah. So it happens, and these are the things that later on come back to haunt the artists, because a lot of people never ever fully are able to repay the money they owe.
Oh wow. Okay, great. So tell me, what sacrifices have you made financially? I know you've made a lot to do what you do. What sacrifices have you made?
I know you already said it, but a lot though, because I think one of the things, the irony is that for me, growing older was learning to also mitigate the sacrifices, like pick what was necessary. I think at some point I was almost reckless with it. It started with the basics. I recorded my first song when I was in secondary school. I was maybe SS2. I was in a boarding school in Abuja, and we lived in Lagos. And my dad gave me money to buy provisions to go back to school, and I spent my provisions money on studio time. I went back to school without provisions. Wow. So
that's a big financial mistake.
So big. So and of course, yes, hunger should be something. Yes. But I'm just saying that was really the start of it. So spending every other dime I had, my pocket money, just as long as I could eat, anything that's left is going to studio, transportation, buying equipment. I think it was no even when I got my first record deal. I think the money I did get, the very first thing I bought was a MIDI controller. That's like a keyboard. That's the very first thing I bought with my money. So I have constantly invested in software, studio production, and now more lately tutorials, just so you can be better at exactly, trying to promote it. But the truth is that it's not like I always had it figured out, because a lot of things I spent money on, if I could go back in the past, I'd just slap myself on the head.
So we're getting to that part. We're getting to that one thing you can change about yourself. Okay, but let me say something now about copyright. What do you think about copyright in Nigeria? I had someone on the show sometime.
Yeah.
I think they were lawyers who said that in Nigeria, ideally, you shouldn't play somebody's song without their permission.
On radio?
Yes.
I don't know if it's without permission. I think so, but I think it's more of there's a certain amount of money you're supposed to remit to them for playing their song.
Okay, but that doesn't happen, because I think in Nigeria they're even happy when you're playing the song. So of course it has blown.
Okay, there are two things you're touching on. Okay. So I know for a fact that radio stations in Nigeria actually do remit money.
Okay, they do.
Yes, some do.
Okay.
I don't know if all of them do.
Okay.
I know some do.
Okay.
But I know that there is a problem with how that also works, that it's not working properly.
Okay.
But in terms of them trying to pay, that exists. Okay. So there's currently a whole issue going on with Koson for a while now. Okay. There's a whole scandal and everything back and forth, and they're trying to audit them and whatnot. Okay. And it's also relating to these things, because radio stations have been paying some royalties to Koson, which is the official royalty collection body with regards to that, supposed to then disburse the artist. So there's a lot of problems from how Koson collects money, how much they collect, and how they are sharing it, and what works. So there's a lot of problems. What I'm just trying to answer is that certain radio stations exist that want to. There's even right now they're at a point where some don't even know who to pay to. Wow. Because there's a lot of issues going on. So, and even when money is being paid, there's issues. The money is entering voicemail.
It's corruption.
So exactly.
Just say it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. And there was something else you mentioned I was gonna say, but
copyright. Copyright thing.
Yeah, I think I kind of talking about how they pay the radio stations. So I was gonna say that So that's another problem. So because we also are not now really getting paid by these radio stations, long story short, it's ironic that we also now have to pay them
for them
to play the music. And that's not even the worst case. Okay. So one of the things that people have been doing for a long time in Nigeria to promote content in terms of music is what we refer to as alaba. So you have people who are
that
marketers.
Some guy mentioned that.
These guys are. So typically what alaba is supposed to be, because let me not sound like I'm discrediting, there are people who are running legitimate businesses there. All right. So there are marketers who are assigned by artists to, do what they call mechanical what's called mechanical rights. So they give them mechanical rights, which is the reproduction of music in itself, so like making the albums and all of that. So but over time you now have Alaba people who are pirating by making these albums available when they're not asked to, and they're not remitting money to the artist. So that also grew into them making mixes where they just make a CD that has like 30 people's songs all in one. And these things are selling on the streets because it's like, hey, why buy Davido's album when I can just get you the 2 tracks that you like there, and the 2 tracks like from Two Faces on, and 2 tracks and put it together. So and these things have been selling for years, making them a lot of money, and the artists have been getting ripped off. But these things have also gotten so successful that artists are now starting to pay the pirates to also add their songs inside.
Wow.
So you're not only being ripped off by somebody reproducing your song illegally, but you're now also paying him to make sure that he does it and doesn't, of course, remit anything to you in the end.
Wow.
So that's where it gets
a vicious circle. I don't even know what to say. I'm in pains for this artist.
But a lot of people don't even know that. They don't think about it that way.
They don't think about it that way. True. So the entertainment industry in Nigeria, you would say it contributes a lot to Nigeria's revenue, yes? You think?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I think it's helped in terms of employment, in terms of, giving people a source of livelihood. I think it's done a great job there. What do you think about that stereotype that people have about artists? Like, for example, if you bring as a lady, if you bring a guy who wants to marry someone, say he's an artist, he sings, that kind of thing. So do you get that all the time? Yeah, although you don't have that look, you look you look like the cool, calm and collected guy. This one is take me to mommy. When mommy sees you, she's like, he's good to go. Yeah. So it's not like the regulars. I get that, and I also know that I intentionally also don't want to look like that guy. I don't want to be that guy. But yeah, I know that there's a stereotype. At the same time, I know people are blowing out of proportion. I also do believe that stereotypes come from a place of truth, in the sense that, generally speaking, not to say every artist, but I'm just generalizing, artists have a tendency to be a bit negligent when it comes to some other things outside of our creative work. We are, to be honest, lazy. So we're highly productive when it comes to the things we love, but anything outside that, we are lazy towards it. So for anybody who's not an artist who's trained themselves or try to be disciplined enough to say, hey, let's do more, you have a tendency to really just be, have a laissez-faire attitude towards everything else. And that's where we start to see the traits that people are now avoiding, and they're now coming back to generalize and say, hey, let's just not even bother with these guys, so, but because even if you check it, it's a lot. It's sad.
Okay. So do you think finance houses, are they supportive of what you do? For example, if you walk into a finance house, an institution, and you need loan to do something that has to do with what you do, do they support you?
There are financial institutions that have been supportive of the entertainment industry for a while. I don't think that there are enough. I think that there's more that can be done. I think but I don't blame them, because I know that it's because they don't truly understand it. Even though, like I also
they can't see, it's not.
Yeah, so I think it's ironic also, because it reminds me of a project that I started, because I'm speaking of the things I do. I'm shooting a documentary. It's fine. I'm making a film.
Okay.
So I started production earlier this year, but I'd been trying to raise funds for it for a while.
Okay.
And one of the things that I always had as an issue was every time I met prospective investors and I said, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, this is how much knowledge I have, this is how long I've been doing this, and this is why it's going to work. And then they tell me, hey, I hear you, but I can't really, invest in this because I don't really understand it. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm the guy that's running it, because I'm the one who understands it. So I think it's ironic, but yeah, but that's the struggle we've had, and the real problem, I think, is that the finance people, who are, of course, looking out for themselves, and you can't blame them, are now putting us in a position where it's like, I don't know if you know the riddle of the chicken and the egg, when they say which one came first, whether it was the chicken or the egg. That's the situation that we're in now, in the sense that they want you to develop your idea to a point where it's already functioning before they invest money.
But we need the money
to develop the
developing
idea to the point
to
where it's
that
functioning.
point.
Because when we get there, we probably won't even need your money anymore.
Okay.
So the problem now is how are you going to get started if one person doesn't bend? You get,
Okay.
so that's where we really struggle.
Okay.
You know, and I don't know how it's going to change, but I know that a lot more people are trying to be more open-minded. Maybe
Okay.
also having maybe some sort of sub-departments that try and understand it more or find
Okay.
niches that they want to focus. Let's say even if you don't understand the whole entertainment thing, you know, but like
A little
there's a
about.
bit like there's an NGO of sorts that exists now. I'm not going to say the name, but
Okay.
I know that they've been big on artists using their talent and voice to make music that has a positive message and
Okay.
promotes like youth involvement in politics and all of that. So they are open to sponsoring those kinds of projects. So which means that if you speak to them about something that relates to that, they would understand.
And they want
So
to
so they may not know much about other sides, but they pick the side that
they know about
and
and they're
that works.
interested in, and it
Exactly.
works
So
for
if
them.
more people could do that, then maybe.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the government. Do you
Okay.
think the government can do more for you guys? For the entertainment industry as a whole? Like, somebody came on the show and was saying that government should actually be giving money out to artists who actually have the real talent. Like, okay, take money and go and do your music, because at the end of the day, if your music starts to sell, it's
Yeah.
bringing
Money
do you
and
understand?
everything.
And everything. So what do you think about that? Do you think
Okay. I think that I'm trying to answer this as clearly as possible because it's also a very touchy subject.
Okay.
So, but to the best of my knowledge, I think the government on some level really does remit funds for the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Now, I do not know how said funds have been, like distilled in the past. We all know the country we're in.
Yes.
So I don't know, but as far as saying that the government did try to show some support, that exists.
Okay.
Do I think more can be done?
Yeah.
Yes. At the same time, I think that you know how they say you should, remove the log in your eye so you can see
Very
clearly to remove the speck. So I think people in entertainment should also work hard to clean up things like their books, paying of taxes. A lot of people in entertainment do not pay taxes properly.
Okay.
A lot of entertainment companies are not structured properly. So I think that demanding for government grant too is quite the leap.
Okay.
If you're not ready to set up a business that in turn would genuinely pay taxes like it should.
Then
So, like this is me just playing devil's advocate. Not saying
Yeah.
that people aren't paying tax. A lot of companies that are, but I'm just saying that as a whole, there's more that we can also do for ourselves as a people
Okay,
than in turn before we
even-
now,
Okay,
So, but
great. I like that answer. You actually did good. Okay. So that being said, let's go to you personally now. What motivates you?
what motivates me?
Yes. What motivates Eclipse?
I think at this point now, I just say life because
Okay.
I know that sounds very general, but it's like when people hit me, like, "Yeah, how you doing now?" I say I'm alive, and people always think that I'm being gloomy. And it's like
You're
you're alive. Like what kind of
What
stuff is
kind
that?
of
But I'm like, but that's all I need. As long as I'm alive, I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Like I woke up, right?
Yeah.
I'm not dead, right?
Yes.
I'm good to go. Don't worry
So that
about it.
means-
So like
So just being alive and life itself that you're living.
let's
You
keep it moving.
understand?
So
Let's
it might not
just-
be great. There might be down days. There might be times when things are rough. But when I pause and remind myself that, but sure, you are alive. You can move.
You
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
And that's it.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about your fears. Do you have any?
I'm human.
What are you afraid of cockroach?
No,
Because
no.
sometimes you
Me.
guys.
Cockroach killer number one.
Okay, what rat?
They kitten.
Okay, so tell me.
But in terms of fears, do I think it fluctuates, but ultimately I think growing, the weird thing about life is that growing older just changes your mind on a lot of things. Before I always used to have a fear of failing.
Okay.
It used to be one of the things that used to hold me back a lot. But I think lately I've conquered that a lot. I'm not afraid to fail.
Okay.
I believe, you should, if anything in life, you should fail fast, learn and keep it moving. So
And
just
keep it
hurry up, let's keep it going,
Yes.
on to the next, we'll learn.
So as it is.
I think, I don't know.
You
because,
don't really have it. You're just living. You're
like,
just okay. Let's
I
keep.
just don't
No,
want
but that's
problem.
good.
Yeah,
But that's-
yeah, because the things that I fear are things that I'm trying to work to stop. But at the same time, I'm so certain I'm going
You're
to
going
beat them
to.
that I no longer am, weighed down by them anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, if it's down, we're getting the money.
We're getting
I
it.
go to build house in the skyscrapers.
As skyscrapers. Okay. So what part of what you do demand a lot of finance? What aspect of what you do demands a lot of money?
From me, or in terms of implementation of it, like the projects?
The projects, and even you. For example, we had artists who would say, when you ask them what part of what you do takes up a lot of money, and they're like, what I wear. I always have to have what kind of look.
Yeah,
you have to look in a certain way, so it takes up money because you have to buy. You know when if you say you're an artist and you're not,
yeah,
the people are like, you're not an artist.
Yeah, fair enough. I think for me, my experience, the thing that takes money is promotions and content creation. Like, actually, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Okay.
So I almost always have an idea that it's going to cost money. Like, so now I used to just be tired. I'm like,
it's a good idea, but it must
like,
this brain rest.
Slow down. Okay, you know what the account is saying. Stop behaving like this. Yeah. But I mean, because we're at the point where pretty much everything has been done.
Okay.
And if you want to do something that's groundbreaking or anything that can shift the paradigm, it often involves, like, it's always about something that might involve stuff that's not available. So we're going to have to ship it from America, find somebody that, or pay one guy online that works halfway across the world. It's like, it's just always a bit more. Like, so for example, I personally have been experimenting with electronic dance music. And it's something that's not even popular around here. Like, Nigerians like it, but there are not a lot of people who make it. Like, I hear a lot on radio, on TV, but we don't have enough original content in that regard.
Okay.
And I've been working, and that was probably one of the tricky things, because in terms of putting the music together, I also wanted to, somehow I decided, what if I, instead of making just this Nigerian original electronic dance music project, I could also share with the rest of the world. And I want to now do it and collaborate with artists from across the world. Okay. That becomes the harder part, because even though I'm halfway done on the project, but it was hard getting the guy from Kenya to send me on time, coordinating with the person in America who's in a different time zone. Okay. So it was just a lot. So so in the end, what I'm just saying is that in terms of getting the content to where it needs to be, a lot of money goes down, a lot of resource. The idea as to how I want to represent the visual is going to cost a lot of money, and marketing it right also. So promotions, because for a lot of companies, even outside of entertainment, they usually find that they always end up having a marketing/promotional budget that's twice or three times the cost of production. Like, so if they're running something that they've spent 10 million naira making, or be creating this whole batch, you probably spend another 20 million trying to market it.
Okay, nice. All right, so tell me, how do you separate your business funds from your personal funds? Before I get there, do you save?
Do I save?
What's your saving culture?
I save. I learned the hard way, don't worry.
No,
this one, they see, I learned. I wasn't always a saving person, but I had to go to a point where it's not even about anybody sitting me down and explaining. You sit yourself down
and tell yourself,
I say, we need to talk.
Guy. Me and my spirit.
Like, we can't keep living like this.
Okay.
So, but yeah, in terms of separating personal funds
from business,
I think that's also one other thing I've learned. Just accepting and saying, this is how much money I'm going to spend on this project, and I put my foot down. I've had projects where I say, I'm not spending any money on this. I probably thought about it and said, I thought it'd be nice because I want to do it, but I don't think I can monetize. So then I now said, then what's the point in spending so much money if you can't monetize? So if it's only for personal satisfaction, and there's no point spending more money on promoting it. So so there, I think it's just always asking yourself if it makes business sense and what the value is. And sometimes, yes, I will admit that the value can be sentimental and can be worth the money. So I could actually invest in something that may not yield me cash, but will help me sleep well at night, and in that one moment, it will be worth it.
Okay, great. So tell me, what's that one thing about yourself that you'd like to change, especially your career path? That's tricky, right?
Yeah.
No, but if there's nothing, it's okay to say no.
I mean, I don't know, because there's one thing that I think I that hurt me a lot for the longest.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's been one of the things that also helped me learn, as maybe even not as quickly as I have learned, as deeply as I have learned. So the depth of my understanding also stemmed from the first record contract that I took.
Okay.
That didn't really end well. There was a lot that happened, on both sides, and so it's something that I wish I could undo. But at the same time, over time, I've learned to give credit to it, because
it helps you.
So it helped me really just put my mind together. So that's why even when I discuss things that affect artists, I understand it, which is also one of the unique things about having the opportunity to work with Chocolate City, because I have now come full circle where I have understood the business from the label and the corporate side, and also being the artist. So
So you
being
know.
So because I wasn't even an artist, so I've been the consumer, I've been the person making it, I've been the person trying to market it. So like I now see
the whole picture,
exactly.
And you can now say, okay, this is why this is like this.
Exactly.
This is why this is like this.
I think in the time,
okay,
it was an experience that wasn't funny and I didn't like it at all. So it's one thing I could have taken back in my career. That's probably that. But in terms of the knowledge that came from it, I think it's also still priceless.
Okay, great. So what would you say to upcoming artists or people who want to do the kind of things that you're doing? What advice would you give to them?
They don't want to do their own. They don't do the one.
They want to do your own.
If they're fired up for it, if they're really sure it's what they want to do, I just tell them to believe. Like, I know that it's so cliche that people say believe in yourself, but it's so important. Like, believe, just get ready for a ride. But the truth is that it's not going to be easy. Like, I've honestly asked myself sometimes, like, knowing what I know now, if I could somehow go back in time, would I still be willing to take this road? Like, if I had to relive everything, knowing that this is where we're going to end, I honestly don't know. So, and I think to a large extent that, just going through the process and the pain and everything. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot to learn from. But yeah, just perseverance.
So
if you're sure, be patient. It would end at some point. It's not forever.
It's not forever. Okay. So what's that one thing people don't know about you that you'd like them to know?
It's a good chance if you don't know, I probably don't want
you know what? I was so sure you were going to say that. Because every other person that has come, when I ask them this question, then they'll start thinking, I've been waiting for the day somebody will tell me. But if it's the one thing I don't want people to know, then why are you asking? So you're the first person to say it. Okay, so it's fine. I've actually been waiting for this answer. This is like my 13th episode. Hallelujah. Somebody said it. So it's fine. Thank you for coming on the show. It was nice having you here. To those of you who reached us via Instagram, though you didn't drop your questions, you guys are so naughty. KJM Media. We have David. Is this Davug Spar, Messi, Obijo, Agumbi Ade, Bumi Agumbi Ade. Yo, thank you for joining in. We do this every Friday from 12 o'clock to 12:30 p.m. It is Insights Radio, your number one finance radio station. And of course, I had with me in the studio today, Eclipse and Nkasi. Let's talk about your voice. This voice, sell it to me. No, I'm female, don't sell it to me.
See, even it will still bring you money.
It will still give me money, Abby. This voice is 100%.
Let me give you a sample. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the city of Lagos. And here's a little insight for you.
I just died. Wake me up. Wow, that was 100%. Wow, great. Come when I heard your voice, I said, this voice is a voiceover voice. This is radio voice. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining in. So till I come your way same time next week, my name is Kewa, aka Kawizi for Sheezy. Till I come your way again, have a great Friday. Enjoy the rain. Just sleep in your bed. Don't even go anywhere. All right, bye. Thank you.